I've been writing poetry since I was about 12, and I was actually rather surprised to become a novelist. I think the first thing I ever submitted was poems to the woman who became my agent. Then in the last 10 years or so, I've been doing poems at concerts that I did and readings. But I never really had the confidence to put together a collection. And I havered about it for ages, and then finally did it. and, touch wood, it's been all right so far. I was introduced to Cavafy, amongst many other great Greek poets, I suppose in my late 20s and early 30s, when I went to Greece on my own and found that the wonderful music that was coming out of the loudspeakers everywhere wasn't traditional, it was composed, and the lyrics were written by Greece's best poets. Well, one poet the Greeks particularly love is Konstantin Cavafy, and I started reading him, and ever since I've taken Cavafy with me when I go travelling. And not surprisingly, you know, I started to write things that were somewhat in his manner, or under his influence, or even that I thought he might like. It's too late to hope to be a successful poet when I was young. So the only choice I have is to be successful now. And yes, I do have hopes. I have at least 2 other collections ready to go because I've been writing poetry all my life. And I consider this is probably my second best. Cavafy was homosexual, and a lot of his poems are quite frank about the erotic life. I'm not gay myself, but I think that gays and heterosexuals have pretty much the same romantic problems, don't they? But I did write one gay poem which I thought Cavafy might have liked, which is The Doomed Boy. As all his young gays are beautiful and doomed. So here we are, The Doomed Boy. He was handsome as Endymion, cast about him the scent of virile cologne, showed brilliant teeth when he smiled, made confident conversation, lived well on his father's wealth. It was known that the women loosened their gowns and stroked their hair and preened as this beautiful man came by. They thought him respectful for keeping his hands to himself. He wasn't detected down in the streets of the port, with his ideal lips and his ideal limbs, whirling and dancing in basements, standing in shadows on dim street corners, warmed briefly by transient joys, flitting and gliding, his hat pulled over his face, like all the other doomed and beautiful boys.